All right, guys, we have something new from DJI. If you are a content creator, you'll be especially interested in this guy. This is their new Power 1000. It is their first try, basically, at a power station. If you know anything about DJI, they are pretty much the undisputed kings in aerial photography, especially for the average user. They have some high-end stuff out there, and this unit is actually geared towards some of that high-end stuff. But as far as batteries are concerned, if you own a DJI drone or if you know anything about them, they do batteries very, very well. So I have no doubt that this unit will be stellar in the battery compartment. So what we have is we actually have two of the 110 volt plugs to run your standard, AC style outlets. We have our charging port here, for the wall charger. We also have the button here. This button here allows this to cycle between 600 watts and 1200 watts on the charge. So you just flip it either way, and that determines how much you're having coming in from the standard wall unit. And then there are two, I think they're called the SDC plugs. These are a high input, high output style plug. These are what you use for the solar panels, for any of the specialty cables for the specialty drones. Two standard USB-A style plugs, probably at 12 or 15 watts. But here's what's different about this unit is we have two 140 watt, which is the highest I've seen. This will be huge for still being able to use the DC side of the inverter to fast charge, for example, my drone, which does not use these. It'll use these to charge up and or the 110, but running the 110 is pretty inefficient. All right, so the Power 1000 is 1,000 watts of power with a 2,200 watt sustained inverter inside, which is also way up there in its class. It can do approximately 4,000 cycles before it loses its ability to hold 100%. But they're claiming that's even 10 years of usage, even with frequent usage. It has a max peak output of 4,400 watts, which is unheard of. And it's got a sustained for, I think, 30 seconds of 2,600. So we're going to do some testing on this guy because I have a little heater that shut down my my 2,000 watt Renogy inverter. We'll see if this guy can run it. So far, no power station has been able to run it. The one thing about this unit, two things actually, is that because it's new to the market, and I understand it's their first try into the market, one, the solar MPPT controllers are not built in. They're actually a secondary unit. I have them. We'll get them out. We'll show them to you. There's a few things about that I don't think is the greatest, but you decide. And then the second part of it is there's no app. Now, that may not be a game changer for a lot of you out there, but for me, it kind of is. I really like the app. I like being able to. Everything I have is on an app, so I can literally just open my phone and I can see the status of everything. So two drawbacks. That's about it that I've come across. Other than that, the heavy lifting that this unit will do, I don't think is touched by any other unit in its class in the market. Let's get out the accessories that DJI sent us. Sent us a very nice case, actually. I'll just open that up. It's padded on the bottoms and sides, so we'll get that set up for us. There's also, with this case, there is an issue with the MPPT controllers that are separate from the unit that we talked about. They sent me one. I bought a secondary one because it'll accept two. So I figure if I'm going to do any solar charging, I might as well maximize the best I can. Now these are supposed to be mounted right here. There's a bracket that comes with it, and you mount one and one. The issue with that is that it doesn't fit in the case properly. And then it also blocks this handle, makes it difficult for you to pick it up with that. And then it also blocks the vent on this side a little bit, which is not ideal. So I've got a different plan I think I'm going to do with these rather than mount them. We'll talk about that here in a bit. There's also our one singular 12-volt output for here, this SDC. And so this is how we can charge it using the vehicle. 12-volt, cigarette lighter style. And if you remove the cable here from this part, you can turn around and you can plug in one solar panel if you just need to trickle charge. What else is here? We got our user manual and a cool little DJI sticker, which I'm a fan of. And they sent us with our standard charging cable, 110 off the wall. And then this unit here is obviously self-explanatory. This also plugs in here. Now this is an output. So that's what's really nice about these, in or out. And then this, for example, if you want to run a 12-volt accessory like a portable fridge. Here's another nice little feature about this guy that I'm excited to see. So here's a decibel meter, if you're familiar. It's in the 30s right now. If I'm talking, it's in the 60s. We are going to turn it on, press and hold. Standard DJI drone sound. That's exactly what your drone sounds like when you turn it on. Comes with 49% state of charge, which not too shabby. I mean, these aren't supposed to be stored, at any kind of a high rate of charge or high level of charge. So we'll get this plugged into a 110 outlet right here. And there's our input right now, 609 watts, because we selected the 600 down here. If we switch over to 12, we should be able to see that ramp up. At this point, we already jumped up to 50%. It says right here, 62 minutes at 839 watts before it's at a full charge. But here's the point I want to make. 841 watts. .35. So it's virtually noiseless. It's making almost zero noise. So any fans that are in here are super quiet. That's unheard of. I have some other units out there that, man, when those fans kick on, they are ripping as far as the noise. All right, so let's give this a shot because I want to drain this down a little bit. This is the infamous dirty heater. Don't mind that. But let's get that guy plugged in, see if it can run it because, like I said, it shuts down that 2,000 watt unit. Let's hit the AC and high heat. So there we go, 1,444 watts. So it's just under 1,500, and this inverter seems to have no issues with it whatsoever. We'll let it run for a while. We'll let it suck that juice down so that we can charge it back up at full speed. So right out the gate, that's impressive because, like I said, I have the 2,000 watt Renogy, can't run it. 1,000 watt Jackery can't run it. 1,000 watt EcoFlow can't run it. I'm sure the 2,000 watt plus units that are out there can probably run it, but this is a 1,000 watt unit. But that's the benefit, I think, of the big inverter that they put in here. It's also one of the reasons I believe, I have not confirmed it with DJI, that because they went with such a bigger inverter and they went with such quiet fans, I think they ran out of space, literally space and weight, to put the MPPT controllers inside, or a MPPT controller inside, because these two are actually fairly heavy in their weight. So I think that is probably a consideration as far as what they thought, I guess. Could be wrong, never know. I've been wrong once. Says we got what? 15 minutes before we suck the juice out of this bad boy. But we'll let it get down, real low, because I want to plug it back in, and I want to make sure it hits that 1,200 as advertised. All right, we just weighed this just on a regular bathroom scale. says it's approximately 42 pounds, which feels about right. Not terrible. They all seem to come in that neighborhood, as long as they have like the LiFePO batteries. While we're letting this guy suck down, let's go over a couple of stats on this bad boy that we haven't gone over. It has a max peak output of 4,400, and it's got a 30-second output of 2,600. So if you really had something like a power tool that could put the screws to it, and maybe we'll do that. Let me go get something. All right, let's unplug this guy. We got 12% left. So, and I brought out just a standard DeWalt grinder, right angle grinder. Plug that guy in. Get it going the right way. Let's see. Well, that was underwhelming. I thought for sure it'd be more juice than that, but barely 600 watts. So let's plug this guy back into the wall right here. So we'll plug it in over here. Let's see what kind of input we get out of it. There we go. So obviously at 50+% or right around 50%, it degrades the input coming in because we couldn't surpass 800 and something. So now that we're down to 10%, we got 1153 coming in. It's probably pushing its max. Again, this unit is making no sound. That's super impressive. All right, so while we're waiting for this to charge up, we opened up our first wire here. So the SDC controller, and then it comes with the 12 volt with the, what is it, the MT60. So we'll put that there. Only goes one way. We're going to take this. We're going to unplug our 110. We will take the competitor here just to see what kind of output it'll take, or input it'll take. Plug it in here. We'll press play. Starting to ramp up a little bit. You can see it here, 50, 71. Let's see what the max it'll take out of this guy. All right, so it looks like roughly 100 watts. So I think with this guy here, using your 12 volt source, I think you're going to get 100 watts going into this. You know, that's the same as just about every other unit out here. These, you know, these only get 80 to 100 going into them, so no biggie. But let's do the opposite now. Let's unplug this and unplug this, and we'll turn around. Now we'll plug in our SDC with the 12 volt. We'll do the opposite test. So we'll plug that in there. We'll plug it into this unit. And let's see what kind of numbers we get out of there for charging. Okay, so this guy right here maxes out at 80 watts. Unplug that. Unplug that. Get rid of this guy. All right, so we put it into its case just so we could show you. Here's our vent hole here. So there's your input. This, on this side, would be your out. And this is where those MPPT controllers would go, right here. And there's plenty of other videos out there on YouTube. They don't fit. They're just not ideal to go right here. It was a good idea to a degree. Anyway, that guy turned back around. So what you do, see, it shows you here, there's your power button, which is kind of hiding. And it's literally, I think right there. There it goes, it shut off. So you can take this flap right here, that, get it folded up, top closed again. And now we have access to all our ports while it still remains safe in the case. Let's get her plugged back in, charge back up. We'll press and hold here for our power button, just like that. Up she goes. So this is the MPPT controller. These are the mounting brackets, the hardware, comes with a wrench. And then again, that just plugs in, but you can see it's fairly sizable. And let's tell you about those. So you have to make sure that your open panel voltage is less than 30 volts. and that the output of each solar panel should not exceed 200. So the entire MPPT module is capped at 400 watts per module. So again, part of my issue on this is that it doesn't fit here, right? And then you would have to bring in each panel's wire, so like I said, there's some other videos out there where they've utilized all 6 of these, 3 here and 3 on the other one, and so you've got all these wires running over to this unit, which is not ideal. I mean, when you're chasing sun, you need your panels wherever that is. This doesn't need to be sitting right next to the panels. Preferably this would be in the shade. So my suggestion for DJI, and it's an easy one, is to make this cord, the SDC, make an extension cord, of say 30 feet. We'll have these guys out by the panels, have the extension cord here, run it from the panels to the unit, and the panels to the units, nice and clean. We just have 2 of these SDC cables coming in instead of 6, or they are MT60s or whatever these are. So let's talk about the stats that everybody wants to know if you are a content creator. So with any of the drones that DJI offers, then you can do from 10% to 95%. The Mavic 3 only takes 32 minutes. The Air 3 only takes 30 minutes. The Inspire 3 takes 28 minutes. And the M30 TB30 battery takes 32 minutes. The Inspire and the M30 TB30 are the high-end drones. The Mavic and the Air 3 are your, mid-range drones. All right, let's do the content creator thing. This is my drone, my Mavic 3 Pro. We'll get our batteries, and so we'll plug that in here. We'll plug that into our DC, just like that. We'll put it up here. So we're getting a decent little fast charge here. I don't know. Let's see, what do we got? Output 36 watts. So that's not too shabby for these. It'll speed the process up a little bit. If we take it and we use our normal anchor that I plug in, turn the power on there. Let's plug this into here. Let's see what we're getting on output. By the way, I turned the input down to 600 instead of the 1200. It's better for the battery. So it's similar on the fast charge, but we're only utilizing 20 watts, which is, obviously less than using the 140, but it's going to be a little slower, I think, and it's always less efficient to use the AC. So let's take that back out. We'll plug it back into here. Pull this guy out of here for now. All right, so we've got our MacBook here. Let's plug that guy in. So we'll plug that in. And we will also take our iPhone. We'll plug that in. You could get 8 hour, 9 hours of charge on this sort of stuff if you needed to. I mean, I don't know why you would, but if you fly your drone quite a bit, that would make the difference. Because I know this little guy, I don't get to keep him in the air all that long with 3 batteries before I have to recharge them. So now this is a sponsored product, not the drone, but the DJI Power 1000 and all the accessories that came with it. I don't know if you've watched my channel enough, you know that, I'll tell you what I don't like. I already told you what I don't like about it. I'll tell you what I do like about it. This guy is a heavy lifter. I mean, this guy will get the job done pound for pound for a 1000 power station. Super impressed. Have to say, this is actually going to live in my truck, and this will be my content creating power station. The other units that live in the truck, they're there for the refrigerators and, charging other things, so on and so forth. But this guy, I really do like. So we'll keep that around. We'll probably utilize it quite often. We're charging away. It says we got an hour before it's full. So we'll see. But thanks for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Smash that like and subscribe button if you would. It really helps the channel. And we will catch you guys on the next video.